Actually, not being the charismatic person in the group, clearly one of you two has better charisma than me. Maybe I should let you do the talking.
I'm a rogue for a reason, sweetheart. I think you are the charismatic person of the group. Oh, the bard.
Thank God.
Yeah, the Outlander. Definitely the face of the group.
That's the one, not the con artist or anything like that.
Well, yeah, the Outlander would be the face of the group because he's used to introducing himself to people because no one knows him.
Outlander.
Good one, I like it.
All right. Fine. Are you sure we just can't ignore her?
I mean, you can. I
We
have
can.
other stuff planned. If you don't want to do this.
Could be those players. Just ignore every obvious hook. What's going on in that unnamed building that hasn't been described yet?
I want to look under that rock. What's under that rock?
It's where you've been living the last 10 years. Oh, am I right, fellas?
Nap.
Got him.
Hey, I need to send me to the burn unit.
Oh, sorry, it was Medine who didn't know what a Natu was. I'm sorry. It was my bad. I loaded up the shot and I missed.
Alright, Sassmouth, let's go talk to her.
I'm going to follow along behind you.
Well, I was trying to do that sneaky little side doobly-doo, but it's not working with my arrow keys right now. So we're just gonna totally pretend I moved over here like a normal person.
As well as is the typical wave movement. So as you approach, she looks very relieved that you actually came to her attention. It looked a bit shaky there. Brave adventurers, thank you so much. I've waited so long finally for this moment. And by so long, I mean, just overnight while you guys were sleeping.
That's totally not creepy.
Good. I was thinking the same thing. I'm really glad you think that way because I've got a pretty urgent job for you guys. I'm really sorry to make you do it for me, but you seem like just the type of brave souls that I need to undertake this quest.
Kind of raise my eyebrow and look over at, my group.
I'll lean forward and put my elbows on the table. Go on.
And promise me you won't freak out when I tell you this or anything. But this is my immortal form, you could say, because I'm a goddess, actually. It's not quite 2018 yet. We can't all choose. Right. Sorry, you might not believe me. Hold on. And like a magician, she waves her hand in midair, and a business card appears on it, and she hands it to you. And it reads, Avandra, Goddess of Adventures.
Interesting.
Continue.
Yeah. So hopefully that clears up some of the confusion. So, plagiarism's a pretty big deal in these parts. I would never try to impersonate a goddess. So, talking about that quest, there's this, let's call him an asshole, god of chaos, Tharsdune. Really not a big fan of his, and he's not a big fan of mine. He broke into one of my temples, one of the ones I actually like, that previously housed my followers. He overtook that in conquest, so all my followers have fled the place, and he's had his followers set up a shrine inside my temple. So, what are you going to do about that?
That's just uncool.
I was thinking the same thing. It doesn't seem so much chaotic as it just seems evil, but he's an asshole, what can I tell you?
Just poor manners, really.
Yeah. And unfortunately, this temple is in kind of a conflicted area right now, and my presence there would be greatly appreciated. But this guy's gone and blocked it off by having his followers erect his own shrine, and he's using that to suppress my godlike powers there. So I need a group of hardy adventurers, such as yourselves, to get in there and resurrect my shrine, really by any means necessary.
Any means?
I mean, I prefer you leave the shrine and the temple, at large in general, You leave it mostly in one piece. But, you know, if things happen, things are going to happen. Anyone you find in there is probably, I'm not very friendly towards. And, unfortunately, being a goddess for so long has rendered me, slightly done with the whole mortal thing. Like, oh no, I live and die in such a short time span. Yeah, get over it. So I'm not overly concerned about you guys having to kill anybody. It's probably in self-defense anyway. Also, they're in my home, so it's kind of like breaking and entering. Totally justified.
All right. So would we have prior knowledge of this? Of this god?
The Goddess of Adventures. You could make a history check, Arcana check, whichever one you're more comfortable with.
I think wouldn't that be religion?
Oh, it is religion. Forgot that was there.
Just guessing. But what do I know?
Well, she did pull that pretty nifty magic trick with pulling the business card out of thin air. So, that's definitely some kind of divine magic's going on there. Like how when your rogue friend also does the same thing. That's magic.
Pretty much.
Yeah, straight up god magic.
So I obviously have no idea of her
You're an atheist.
provenance.
Or agnostic. Oh, well, there you go. Well, one of you was actually prepared for the Goddess of Adventures, which is it's a pretty surprising thing. Yeah, you can tell it's pretty legit. Most of her imagery and symbolism says that she has long, red-orange hair, 3 squiggly line symbols on a shield, warrior-like. Generally supportive of adventurers and wilderness in general. The ability to go where you want, do what you want. Pretty upstanding god as far as deities go.
So in other words, seems legit.
Correct. She seems legit as far as you can tell.
But I wouldn't know that. I'm just suspicious.
Eyes narrow, the tail bushes out.
Starts flicking back and forth.
And Kimberly, you can infer much the same that Medine just did.
So this all seems, very good for you. But what's in it for us?
There we go.
Well, is there anything you had in mind? I mean, apparently the friendship of a goddess isn't enough. I like that. It's crafty. It's good negotiation.
Look, Chantal and I are orphans, so friendship is fine and all, but it doesn't, fill your belly at night.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could arrange for, the cooks to bring you something. I mean, I'm not exactly the goddess of food. If you find anything that the bandits left behind in there, it's all yours. I don't really need it. None of my followers might not need it either. And if your need is more pressing, really don't mind you taking anything from there. I mean, the shrine, of course, very important. If you take that, I'm going to have to come down on you. But short of that, if they have any, I don't know, any wine, any gold, gemstones, if they got swords, armor that's usable, I mean, feel free to take those. Unfortunately, my wallet is a bit empty, seeing as, gold doesn't get you much in the Divine Realms.
So you're saying we'd have to go in and kill a bunch of people, but there's not really much we'd get out of it anyway.
You know what? I've got a couple followers in the city. Maybe I could give you a hookup with them. I've got some guy managing a potion stall, I'm pretty sure, last I checked. He might have died as mortals do, but he should be a pretty upstanding guy within the city.
I guess it sounds all right. Can't go wrong to have the favor of a god, right?
Right.
She just grins.
Well, where is this place?
It would be pretty difficult to explain, or I could just send you there right now. You know, magic style. And then obviously I
Look back.
All right.
Go ahead.
and then I could send you back once you're done. Once I feel that my godlike powers have been restored to the temple, I could just put you back here.
That's convenient.
Yeah, I mean, heck, if we could get some usage of that ability alone, that could be handy later.
Well, maybe I'll see what I can do. One of my followers was an artificer. Maybe he's got some ideas.
All right, I'm intrigued. I'll look to my companions. Anybody else have any other questions?
I think we're okay.
All right.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, just huddle up, grab onto anything you need, and I'll send you on your way instantaneously.
Check my equipment, make sure I have everything. I think I'm all right.
Let's get this train wreck a rolling.
All right. Now, a quick side note: people in this innocent inn, they might take notice if 3 people were to just go missing all at once. So I'll have to create a very subtle diversion to get attention away from all of you while you disappear.
I mean, we could just walk outside.
Or go upstairs. You know, there are options.
All right, fine. I like the upstairs option. We could do that. Then she gets up from the table and just walks up the stairs to her room. Alright. And as soon as you breach the top of the stairs, you find yourself just disappeared and teleported into a very dark cave, which I'll put you in momentarily. Excuse me.
Well, that was sudden.
Ah, dang it. Okay.
Very sudden and dark.
Man here is gone. And Chantal is in.
More like men out instead of men here. Never mind.
Men away.
I got it. I like it.
Heyo. Sounded better in my head.
Can anybody see? You are in the top left corner of this map.
I can see.
I can see. I have eyes.
This is indeed a dark and foreboding place.
Sweet. Alright. So where you're standing right now, behind you and to the north, there's a big hole that opens up to the sky, so you can infer that you're somewhat underground, maybe like 50 feet up a craggly stone wall, up out to the surface, with the remains of a rope ladder just bundled up at the bottom of the hole, as if someone had cut it maybe 5 feet from the top. So there's now just 45 feet of haphazard rope ladder cut off from the main surface. And in front of you, to the south, is just a big cave system. Or at least one tunnel of a cave. Because I forgot you can't see the rest of it.
Yeah, don't spoil it. As far as we know, this is just one small
Yeah,
room.
it's weird.
Cozy.
She had such a problem clearing out one room of a thing, but yeah, what are you gonna
Right?
do?
Seems like this should be a cinch.
What kind of goddess has a temple in the ground? Isn't that kind of a drow thing?
Right?
Well, the kind that has to make a one shot on like 1 week's notice, and then is too lazy to make another one. That's what goddess.
Wow.
I suppose we can overlook it.
Or
Real estate prices being what they
Or
are.
you know what goddess does it? The kind that can just send a dragon at you if they want. That's the kind.
Guys, let's not piss off this goddess.
Yeah, and this is a great temple.
I mean, if she sent the fucking dragon after us, we can't clear her shrine. So joke's on her.
To be fair, though, if she sent the dragon after us, can't the dragon clear the shrine? And if she has a dragon to clear said shrine, why would she send us?
She needs the
I don't
shrine.
think this line of questioning is getting us anywhere.
Nah, she needs the shrine to access the dragon powers. It's all an elaborate ruse.
See, it all
Yeah,
makes
you
sense.
failed to roll insight on her true motives.
I get it now. Okay. Do we hear anything from further ahead?
Go ahead and make a perception check. The sound of dripping stalagmites, or water dripping off of stalactites from the ceiling. But very, very far off in the distance,
man.
you hear some faint speaking. As if two people are just having a regular conversation.
Well, sounds like they're up there. We should sneak up and see if we can catch them unawares.
You're pretty good at the sneaking thing.
That's true. I'm gonna pull on my inner Pink Panther and let's go.
Is he known for stealthing?
Yeah, that's kind of his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sure. Lead on. Oh, hold on.
Guess I should make stealth.
Dang.
Man, somebody's been practicing.
Hey guys, I'm here.
Somebody hasn't.
I wear my high heels.
Alright, guys, let's sneak up on them.
That's a great idea.
They'll never see us. We are the night.
I brought my castanets.
I'm a bard, dang it.
Onward toward stealth.
To victory and silence.
We start sneaking. She pulls out the bugle to play the marching music.
What, you guys wanted a backing track, right?
You just start singing along to the background music. Oh, luckily you don't hear anybody coming around the corner just yet to nibble your ghoulies off.
That's good because I don't know what that means, but I'm really scared of it.
But I don't want it.
Google it, safe search off.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Better this way. So, I think we keep sneaking around the corner, and you know, I'll just let the rogue lead. Do her roguish thing, but I'll be right there to back her up in case she needs me.
Alright, good thinking. So far you've not yet seen a person. Just to keep you appraised of the situation.
All clear so far.
Start humming the Mission Impossible theme under my breath.
No, let's not.
Aw.
Humming it quietly.
Bum, 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 bum. Ba-da-doo. 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 Ba-doo.
I haven't seen anybody yet. Have we seen anything else unusual about this cave system?
Go ahead and roll an investigation. See if there's anything you can investigate about it. It appears to be just a plain rock cave. The floor is a bit dirty. You see a lot of sets of footprints coming in that look pretty fresh, maybe about a week or so. The cave seems entirely ordinary, not magical, nothing like that. They've got lanterns on, like, the supports for the cave system, right? Just on
Yeah.
beams. Plain lanterns. Those are the yellow dots you keep passing. Shedding a gray light to it. It appears to just be a plain cave system that just happens to have a shrine in it someplace.
Okay.
And, as Elentia has seen, this particular cave opens to a big room right in front of you.
Oh, you told us all to hang back?
I mean, you don't have to. I'm just saying there's a big room in front of you.
No, hang on.
I'm
To what?
telling you, everybody to hold back.
I freeze.
Sorry, I don't think my connection's very good, so my
Yeah, I think you cut out the first time, but you're good now.
I heard you.
signal to my friends that there's people in front of us.
I hold up my hand and I start counting up, looking at her questioningly. 1, 2, 3, raising fingers, and then shrug.
I put up one finger.
I give her a thumbs up.
I'm gonna sit and listen and watch and see if I notice anything else.
Well, just as you're sitting here, you hear the clatter of metal knives against wooden plates, and you hear the sort of quiet sounds of a conversation happening.
Any juicy gossip?
Go ahead and roll investigation.
If we hear the clatter of knives on plates, being a cat person, can I smell what's cooking?
Ooh, what is the rock cooking?
You go ahead and make an investigation then. And to answer your question, you can tell that the god of chaos, whose name obviously I forget, Therisdune, you can tell he's not paying his workers proper wages. They were promised a livable minimum wage, but these guys are not getting that. And the tip service of all of the loot they could scavenge isn't really, a benefit. They feel like they might have no choice but to establish some kind of a proletarian protest.
See, they're gonna form a union against their own god.
Yeah, it's
Normally I'm against unions, but if it's a union against the god of chaos, I'm oddly torn.
Yeah, same.
well. Also, that's a double loss because they're organizing. They're becoming less chaotic. They're really sticking it to them.
Ooh.
Kind of want to encourage this.
This is like it is violating like a basic tenet of a god of chaos to organize.
Yeah, they're just kind of like in it for the money. But to answer your question, Mr. Stone and River, it's just salt chicken, maybe one salt fish in there, cooked potatoes just baked in an open fire. Nothing fancy. Which also appears to be a part of the conversation as well, is they assumed they would be paid so much, but they're stuck here eating salt meat and potatoes. Really becoming disenfranchised with the whole process.
All right. I'm going to look questioningly at Elentia, inquiring silently as to the nature of her plan.
As I loudly eat Cheetos.
We're very stealthy.
Someone's gonna come through behind us. What are all these orange fingerprints on the wall?
So now I'm conflicted because I was just planning on murder hobo in this shit, but now that these guys are like all unhappy with their lot in life, I don't want to murder hobo this shit.
Poor and destitute and attempting to unionize for better working conditions and wages.
It's really sticking to it, a god of chaos, which is just very pleasing.
True.
So, what do I want to do?
But if we help them, how will we get them out of this temple?
Convert?
Maybe we can just make them so angry that they leave, and they'll take the shrine.
I don't know. It depends on if they have anywhere else to go. Is
the rope ladder was
this
cut.
kind of version where they had to like give away all of their worldly possessions or donate them to the cult and then move in here? Do they have anywhere else to go?
You can see from your previous checks that they're still wearing clothes of different make, so it doesn't seem like they had to trade in for some kind of uniform. They've got all different kinds and styles of weaponry. I'll assume you can see more of them than you actually can, but just for the sake of the argument. Like, you see one guy with a sword, you see one guy with an axe. So it doesn't seem like they've had to give anything up for this. It's more like they were either pressed into service or they volunteered for some kind of better prospects.
Well, Bard, maybe you can inspire them to go
Rise up against.
organize somewhere else.
Get out of my swamp. Oh, kill me.
I almost made a "that is a nice boulder" comment earlier, but I held back. Now I realize that I was wrong. It was futile to resist.
Oh, goodness. I mean, I could attempt that.
We can attempt anything.
I know, this is D&D after
The
all.
choice is yours.
The choice is yours. Okay, cool.
So far our options seem to be stab everybody till they stop moving.
Mm-hmm.
Always a favorite of mine.
Right.
It's a simple plan. The execution can get messy, and the plan itself can be rather messy, but it's a simple one. Or we can try to convince them to go somewhere else somehow. Or I don't remember what the third option was. I was too distracted. That chicken smells delicious.
I haven't
Somebody
finished dinner
else
yet.
Kimberly or Chantal is going to start a Broadway musical, maybe Bollywood, depending on how good we are. So we're going to dance out.
Yes, dance off. I'm always for
That
a
is
dance
also an
off.
option.
I don't know, how does this guy look here? Does he look like dexterous, wiry? What am I dealing with? How are his calves?
Well, his calves are
Does he have well-turned calves?
his calves are pretty good, seeing as he's a dwarf. You know, short and stocky. Probably not the most graceful of stage performers.
Ah, nah, but he can kill those Russian dances.
Yeah, and that baritone, man. Let me tell you.
I tried to Google dwarf in a tutu just to find it. Not really getting anywhere.
Not with that attitude.
Can't figure out why.
Alright, so what's the scratch? We gonna talk to him? We gonna punch him? What the heck is going on here?
Maybe talk then punch?
Talk while punching.
Talk
Say
while
punch.
punching. You need to organize, punch. Get out of the shrine.
This is what happens to the unorganized masses. Ugh.
I mean, it's a good lesson.
Tab. If you want to talk to him, I'd say you should try now. And if that doesn't work, we can always revert back to plan A. I mean plan B.
Right, punching.
And stabbing.
And stabbing. Mostly stabbing. for me.
Sharp punching.
Sharp punching. I'm gonna punch you with this
True.
right here.
It is just very focused punching.
Laser focused. Alright. I'm gonna straighten my lapels, brush off any imaginary dust, throw my hair up in a bun, and let's go.
What kind
I
of
like the
fun? I
confidence.
feel like this is important.
Classic top knot.
Okay,
Right.
carry on.
Is that acceptable? Cat?
Just making sure that I understood the scene that was being said.
At least some of us have hair. You know, fur. Not really stylable.
I mean, we could put bows in it.
I would be fine with that.
Alright, off you go. Do your talking thing.
Alright, do we want a code word in case this is going badly? Oh, help. They're starting to punch me. They're organizing in violence.
I think we'll know if it's going badly. We should be able to hear you from right here, right?
Right.
You should.
I don't hope so.
I'll hang back just in case.
Alright, you kids and your rock and roll music, says the bard. Alright, let's just saunter on up here. Oh, hey, there's a few of them. I wish I had a clipboard.
You went to go
Doesn't
buy a
make everything go
clipboard.
smoother.
You do have one somewhere.
We did go and buy a
Oh, that's
clipboard.
right. If you would like, I could give you the clipboard. I'm sure I have it in a bag somewhere.
Give me that misdirection.
Alright, here's the clipboard.
Yes, now I look official.
Hair
Absolutely.
in a bun with a clipboard.
You
Yeah.
can pretend you have a checklist of things to do to get organized.
Yes. I could be the demigod of organization and workers' rights. Oh my gosh, I wish I was at 3rd level as an Azamar, because then I get, like, wings. But let's just go.
So you're just striding confidently into the place with a button and a clipboard?
Exactly. Confidence is key here. Clipboard, bonus.
Alright. Well, as
You gotta look where you belong.
as they notice you walk into their little buffet area, just all conversation stops, and all of them stare directly at you.
It's not polite to stare, but you're in luck. I've heard your pleas, your, cries of not being paid or recognized. You need to organize. You need to rise up. You need to get out of the darkness. You need to get paid.
They still appear...
I'm feeling personally motivated at this point.
I feel like there should be a sassy black gospel singing lady behind you, like, rise up.
I'll poke my head out of the hallway. Hallelujah!
Praise wages! They still seem pretty stunned that someone's just strolled up to where they are. So one of them walks over to you and says, "Excuse me, ma'am, can we help you?"
Are you content to sit down here in this dark and dank cave eating, what is that, unseasoned chicken?
Go ahead and make either a persuasion or a performance roll. Your choice. Alright, this is gonna be fun. He looks back to his salt chicken and his baked potatoes. And there's a general murmur of consent among the group, and he goes, "Well, we have been maybe lied to or maybe deceived in the past. We were promised we'd be eating fine beef off of silver platters by now, but this is all we've got to work with."
I'm just gonna shake my head.
You gotta put a little more sass on it.
No.
I'm white, but I'm gonna try.
I'm nodding my head knowingly behind you.
Oh, honey. That's just unacceptable. You've done work, you need to be recognized for it, and it's not gonna happen down here.
Yeah, we were just discussing that. How did you know? Who are you? Why are you here?
I'm an organizer. I look out for people like you. Consider me your guardian angel of fair wages, getting out of this dankness, and eating some friggin' beef.
Go ahead and make a deception check.
What?
Oh my god, woman.
So you've been sent here.
She's on fire.
The guy's his eyes just widen up, like to the size of dinner platters. You've been sent here to help us, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Please, we're willing to work for fair compensation. What would you have us do? And everyone in the crowd is just nodding their heads in agreement.
I didn't get that far.
I mean, I think we need everybody guarding this temple. You have to do it as a group. That's the important part about unionizing. And you gotta go as a group, and you gotta leave. And then, when he realizes what they're missing, they'll hire you back for higher wages.
Absolutely. That's how this works. You show what a value you are, they're gonna compensate you. But you know what? You're not gonna get anything just sitting down here, continually eating that chicken. Not drinking fine wine and bourbon. Eating off of wood that's barely passable as disposable.
Or sanitary.
Or sanitary. You know how much bacteria that's gonna save? So not only are you not being compensated, you're in unsafe working conditions.
They're like roused into agreement. Like, yeah, we don't have to take this. Come on, guys, let's just leave. Somebody
Let's do
Somebody cut the rope bridge, though. That was one of our first instructions. How are we supposed to leave?
We gotta find a way out.
I suppose we could. If I recall, Morton was a good climber, weren't you, Morton? And one of the guys just nodded their head. Yeah. Do you think you could climb up there and retie the rope ladder for us? And they have a small discussion amongst themselves. Yeah.
If this will help, I'm totally gonna give him bardic inspiration to climb really well.
Why, thank you so much, my lady. It would be an honor to climb a wall for fair conditions, for equal compensation.
Fair conditions, the light, steak, and bourbon.
Hell yeah.
His eyes just glaze over and he drools a little bit at the prospect. Come on, guys, let's get out of here. And they all just retreat to the beginning of the cave.
All right.
Oh.
I'll walk in and look around at the now empty room. That went pretty well, I guess.
Yeah. Better than I thought.
Should
So
we
what now?
I don't know, do we follow?
invite all our friends over and have a crazy party in this now abandoned cave?
This has never happened before.
Hey, usually there's blood.
We don't have to mop anything up.
We don't have to mop, we don't have to immediately bathe? What?
Should we follow him to make sure we leave? Maybe this is a trick.
Oh yeah, let's go.
It's probably a trick.
It's always a trick.
By the way, fantastic motivational speaking. I'm personally thinking of organizing for better wages. My employer makes me purchase work supplies with my personal money and does not reimburse me.
Oh. Who even is our current employer?
Well, an underground criminal network. So that may
Cough.
explain the whole unfair wages thing.
Yeah, maybe we need to actually make a organized criminal network. Still underground, but organized and fair.
I think they call that organized crime.
Huh. That sounds
Pretty
good.
sure there's a term for exactly the thing you described.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly the words you used.
Basically.
Just with different conjugations. Who knew?
So
So, now that we've made it back here and can
Is it
see them, what are they up to?
Conjugation or connotation?
No conjugation. She said we needed a more organized criminal network, and so we just needed to reconjugate the criminal to crime.
Ah,
Or unconjugate, I guess, would actually be the correct term.
okay.
So now that we're up here, like, kind of close enough to see, are they actively trying to get
at
out?
the moment, you see one guy attempting to scale the craggly walls, and everyone below him is forming like a human net, so that if he falls, they could potentially catch the guy. But he seems to be doing pretty well. He's near the top at this point.
Damn, look at that organization. They're naturals.
So after a minute or so, he's able to get up onto the surface. Everyone lets out a big cheer. They go, "Oh, okay, we'll throw the rope ladder up to you, Morton. You ready?" And everyone goes, 1, 2, 3, throw! And they heave up the rope ladder to him. He's able to catch it and tie it off at the top to reconnect it with the rest of the bridge. The crowd gives it like a small tug to make sure it's stable. And when it holds, all right, we're gonna get up, we're gonna get out of here, and we're gonna organize against Theron's Doom. Yeah, that'll show him.
Yeah.
We're gonna make him pay for all of his unfair labor practices. We're gonna show him that he can't just push around the people. We are the 99%.
I mean, I'm hype.
We won't forget what you've done for us this day. Thank you. You've done us a great service. If there's anything we can do to repay you, please, it would be an honor.
I'll find you.
That sentiment seems to make them unbelievably happy, and they're almost cheering now as they climb the rope bridge up out of this place, or the rope ladder. No, one by one they just disappear through the hole that leads up to the surface.
Alright.
Well then.
This has gone really well.
Suspiciously well.
Shit, I can be in bed by 8:30.
Right?
I'm gonna go check the rest of the cave, see if we missed anything.
Yeah, true.
Anybody else needs to hear the light of organization and looks like there's one entrance back here.
Yeah.
Man, this is a big cave. They were all up there in that one room. I wonder what's back in the back half of this.
Well, so far you see nothing but rocks and dirt. The occasional lantern, still strapped to a pole.
All right, I'll go left.
All right.
Okay, that'd be right.
Well, it was left from me, but yeah,
Alright.
you're right. It would be right. All right, I see a bedroom.
Yep.
So no one here. I assume this is pretty much exactly what I'm seeing on the screen.
Yeah. Stone
Okay.
walks into a room just laden with a bunch of beds, maybe a couple of wardrobes. The beds seem to be just haphazardly made cots of either grass or straw. Maybe a thin blanket, a couple of pillows. Nothing fancy.
I'd like to pull open a couple of drawers on this wardrobe and see what's in it. Just casually, not like rifling through everything, but just a quick glance.
Right. Almost nothing is in the wardrobe. These people didn't seem to have a lot of possessions that they were able to store in there. The occasional
Okay.
spare cloak, maybe an interesting rock or a root. Really nothing of any value, but it's about all these people had.
Okay, kind of reinforces my opinion that they haven't been here very long, which is what I was looking for. Man, this place just keeps going.
Just a quick question for everybody. Are you trying to be quiet and sneaky?
At this point, I doubt it.
What about Chantal or Elentia?
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Are you trying to be sneaky, or are you just strolling by, not a care in the world?
With the bugle out, you know.
I'm trying to be sneaky, but
I mean, I'm gonna try, but have you guys have seen my track record with sneak?
I'm mostly just trying to keep Chantal out of trouble. So.
Take off the stilettos, walk normal.
Alright, so you wonderfully, the three of you have split the party beautifully. I'm really liking this division of labor here.
Figured you
Yeah.
would.
You're welcome.
So, I've come to a corner and I see a person, so I figured I should stop and wait for DM input.
Yes, you like, we could put this in turn order, so that Stone can do what he wants, Elentia can do what she wants, and Chantal can do what she wants. Just so it's not total chaos.
You are in charge,
Alright.
sir.
You know what? Darn right I am, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. Bam! Okay, I'm not sure why that didn't work. And bam! And now I've just gotta clear everybody.
I thought you just said bam and expected us to all do
No.
something.
I attempted to give all of you a turn, but then I realized that doesn't work unless the turn order thing is up. Which I feel like rolling initiative should bring up the turn order chart.
You would think.
Yeah, not only do I think, it's exactly what I expect. So,
I immediately get a sense of foreboding.
Chantal, what are y'all doing?
I guess well, I did actually do pretty good on my stealth check. If you look up there, 19.
That's very good.
I'm learning. I want to peek around this corner here because corners are foreboding.
Peek away.
Try not to become one with the corner here. Bloop. And
Yep,
peek
so
out.
just peeking your head around. And, Stone, I'll assume you're too far away to really make use of this data, so I really don't mind you overhearing.
Probably.
Chantal, you see what seems to be some kind of crudely made prison, where it's just really a couple of iron bars spanned out across the from one wall of the cave to the other. You see one person presumably watching over the prisoner, and one person behind the steel bars with a big heavy padlock on him. So it appears to be when they overtook the shrine, they kept at least one hostage as a prisoner.
Nice.
And so far, the guard doesn't seem to have taken any notice of you.
Don't suppose I could convince him to, to unionize and all his friends are left without him.
Yeah, hey, it's your turn.
I feel less confident without my friends.
Well, you've got Elentia there.
I'm here.
Oh yeah! Hi, friend.
You can do it. I believe in you from a distance.
Your support is noted from a distance.
I'll shout it down the tunnel. I believe.
I have total faith in you from way over here.
Way, way far, far away.
I express.
I mean, sure. He's just here guarding. He doesn't have chicken, though, does he? Because the chick thing really seemed to work.
No, it appears he's just sitting at a small wooden stool. Just staring off into space.
Alright, messy bun, let's do this. Where's my clipboard?
We're switching bun types. Could
I
get
know.
serious.
We're getting serious. Just... Excuse me.
He kind of like snaps out of a stupor and turns to look at you. Reaches, like places one hand on the hilt of his sword. Who are you?
No need for that. No need for that. I'm an organizer. Your friends, your companions. They're unionizing. They've already left. I suggest you join them. Unless you want to be alone down here, guarding old men, eating chicken, and dried fish, with 0 compensation.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check. He appears to soften his stance a little bit, but he still looks at you a little bit suspiciously, and he says, What happened to everyone else?
I'd be suspicious too. Lavender-haired women appearing out of nowhere. It's strange. They repaired the rope ladder and they legitimately left. You can go check for yourself.
But,
Morton, I believe his name was, scrambled right up and fixed it.
it's... Thurstoon told me explicitly, keep watch over the prisoner. Don't leave for anything until I was relieved of my watch by one of the other ones.
Didn't he also promise you fair wages, roast beef on silver platters, nicely aged bourbon?
Well, not exactly sure where you're getting the bourbon from, but it wasn't about the payment. It was about the glory of Thurstoon. So, wait a minute.
I'm a bit of an alcoholic, so that comes in.
I think you'd better leave. I'm not sure what kind of follower you are. And he puts his hand pretty seriously over his weapon, and he assumes a more aggressive stance.
Well, can't say I didn't try to give you a better life.
So now he's just going to draw his sword and say, leave.
I believe this is where I say I draw my rapier and go on guard.
Alrighty then. So, before we get to this, Stone, would you like to do something else before they initiate combat with this lad?
So, I have been strolling along, not being stealthy at all, because I was under the impression we pretty well cleared this cave. I was feeling pretty good about that. And I see a person, but I would like a little more information than the 17 pixels I can see here can provide me.
Okay, I mean, first of all, it's a 70 by 70 pixel image there, champ, so hold your high horses.
I'm sorry, then the 490 pixels here can provide me. No, wait,
Yeah,
that's
4,000.
4,900.
Go ahead and make an investigation. And what exactly would you like to see about him? Like, overhearing gossip, general temperament.
I don't think it matters what I want to see.
Nah, I mean, you see a bunch of, like, humanoid figures, and it's really hard to read the faces that don't have fur on them. Like, nobody's tail is busheling up, so you can't tell if they're being especially aggressive or threatened. You can't smell any pheromones. I mean, it's a problem. Like, is it mating season?
Damn humans, they're so hard to read.
Yeah.
Well, and realistically, I can only see guys north of this line,
North of that line.
i.e. that one
Okay.
guy. So, I don't pick up anything unusual from him.
No, they're
The guy standing
they're
there.
talking in more hushed voices, so you can't exactly overhear their conversation.
Have they seen me? Given that I wasn't being quiet.
You know what? That is an excellent question. Luckily, they appear to have not seen you. They're still just looking at each other, talking, discussing.
Well, in that case, I am going to hold here and see if I can use my sensitive cat ears to listen in and see if I can pick anything up, even if it is kind of a long shot from this range.
Right. And in that case, go ahead and make, what is that, perception? Can perception work for sound? I'll say
I'd say
yes.
so.
Alright.
I hope so.
Alright. So you, like, slow your breathing and really focus on listening to them. It seems to be just a smattering of, like, holy reverence towards Theron's Dune, mixed in with just kind of nonsense.
Does this holy reverence sound, well, reverent?
Yeah, it
Serious?
sounds like they're discussing the benefits that'll be bestowed upon them by Theron's Dune for successfully taking over the shrine. Like, oh, I bet I'll have a mansion made entirely out of cheese. I love cheese.
Well, given that these guys seem a little bit more devoted than the last group, and just from the sound of the voices, I know there's multiple, I'm going to hold off, and I'm going to try and stealthily move back down the tunnel.
Alright.
To alert my friends that there are indeed more people here.
In that case, roll me up a stealthing.
This is where the plan falls apart. See, I told you.
This has really been a session of highs and lows.
I'm sorry, you broke up there, but I'm sure whatever you said was
Yeah,
hilarious.
it was, trust me. Oh man, we laughed so hard. As you turn away, your foot slips on some gravel, and you attempt to, like, clutch up onto the wall, but your claws make a scraping sound. So you hear all the conversation in the room stop.
I would just like to point out that I called it, that this is where it was going to fall apart before I clicked
You
the
absolutely
button,
did.
just in case anyone was unclear on the
Yeah, we
topic.
have it on tape. So I think that cliffhanger is the best place to leave that. And now,
Indeed.
we'll give this guy a turn. Oh, it's at the top. Blasted interface. Bam. We'll move that to descending order. And looks like Chantal, Elentia, and this unnamed henchman have gotten themselves into a tussle. And Chantal was the first to react.
Classic. Alright, I'm going to run up and, you know what? Stabbing is my strength on one of them, so let's attempt to stab him.
Sounds like a pretty good idea.
Boom!
Just,
How could I crit for an additional 0 damage?
must be
Means you didn't add your crit damage to your weapon.
something's out of whack on your character sheet.
Solved.
But regardless, how would you like to do it?
I hate to be that guy too, but your damage dice, you have listed as 8, and that should be 1d8.
Shoot.
Otherwise, you're just gonna roll 10 every time, which I'm cool with.
Well, I think since
How is that wrong?
I'd say that since you got a critical hit, this does not appear to be the most stalwart of faithful devotees. So you could run him through pretty easy, as long as you critted him, of course.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry I did that. Stupid sheet. Salt.
It's cool.
It's fine. I'll allow it this one time.
Well, I'm glad you noticed. I feel really bad because I didn't
I don't really
notice.
care. Well, I'll be honest. This is what, like, the third combat encounter you've had, so hasn't really affected too much.
True.
I wouldn't be like, oh well. I mean, you failed to hit that guy for 8 damage. I guess he kills you.
Regardless, he did.
This guy is super dead. But
Just ridiculously dead.
boom, the big X of death.
Dun, dun, dun.
Alright, so his downside, you did have to resort to fighting. Upside, you, like, definitively won the fight.
Woo! Hey, I tried not to resort to violence, but he's a I'm a devotee, blah blah blah.
Here's my question.
Mm.
Who's the asshole in the cage?
He's just been cowering in the corner the entire time.
Yeah, I know. He makes me nervous.
I mean, we can ask him. Who the heck are you?
I'm just saying I've played enough Zelda to not trust this dude.
Not I wish I was a bigger Zelda fan so I could interpret exactly what that meant. Oh. Upon hearing you question him, he, like, kind of unfetal positions himself and says, I'm a devotee of Avandra, you lawless charlatans!
You say lovely charlatans or lowly charlatans? Because I'll take lovely charlatans.
Well, you know, hey, lovely charlatans, that's on your business card. Hell.
Can I roll
Hell yeah.
if he's being truthful?
Go for it. Insight the shit out of him. Oh, man, he pinky promised. That's how serious it is. And you can't break a pinky promise. Not only did he pinky promise, he made a pinky pie promise.
Gosh dang it, I haven't eaten. Stop talking
Crossed
about
his heart,
food.
hopes to fly, stuck a cupcake in his eye. It's pretty serious.
Oh, my little pony.
If it's the desecration of this shrine that you seek, you'll get no help here. You may as well just send me to my goddess.
Oh, my Atlanta. We might have goddess in an inn, like a zillion miles from here. I don't even know. We might not even be in the same dimension.
He just stares at you, confused.
Don't I have her business card or something?
Sure.
Business card.
He reaches
Surely you pulled that right off the clipboard.
Obviously.
up. Dude, she came prepared. Come on.
Did you see this button? Did you see this clipboard? I am prepared. Totally didn't borrow any of this from you. Nope. Totally didn't have you buy any of this.
He just stares at the card and says, "That's Avandra's her. Damn it, I'm not sure what to call this now. Like her her token of esteem. She must trust you greatly." Yeah, he gets on one knee and says, "Oh, how may I be of service? Oh, your protectors."
Well, I guess I don't know. Just get up, stand up.
Stand up for your rights. He stands up.
What do I want to do with the smelly old man?
I think for now, let's leave him where he's at. He's safe where he's at. Let's go find men here, regroup, and then we'll go unlock this guy again.
My name is Stone and River.
Fuck.
The other cat.
The four-legged, the furry one. We'll get the furry one.
All I can remember is Torval, okay? Fuck off.
I am so insulted.
You've been Torval for 9 fucking years.
My name is Stone and Adam Torval.
Sounds like a bad medical condition.
Yeah, it does.
We actually met while using our fake names.
Which I'm sure makes this worse.
Adam didn't know my name for like 3 weeks.
Oh, I absolutely forgot your name while we were planning our first date. Shit, her real name. I said something to a friend of mine like, "Oh yeah, I'm going on a date." "Oh yeah, what's her name?"
It was like a Seinfeld episode.
Well, and then you have to explain the whole. Well, I know her as Medine, but I don't remember her act. We were super cool guys. I promise.
It's all right.
So, anyway,
Just leaving this.
back to where you guys were.
Let's go find Stone and River. This guy's totally safe where he's at. Dude, we're gonna come back for you, but let's go. We want to clear the rest of the temple, make sure it's safe first. Okay?
Sure. That guy had the key. You know, if I'm pretty hungry. They didn't really feed me much while I was in here.
We'll survive for another 45 minutes. We promise.
Okay. I'll wait with bells on my toes.
Can I loot his body to find his key?
Sure. Loot it to find anything you like.
I'm just looking for the key mostly.
Sure. We understand it's only natural. You find a big brass key just tucked into one of his pockets.
Alright. I tuck it into my pocket so it doesn't get lost.
That sounds good.
Chantal? Let's go
Yep.
find the cat.
And speaking of the cat, I think now is the best time to transition back to your story. So you've turned away, made a bit of a ruckus, and all the conversation stops. What would you like to do?
I'm still inside of that one guy, so I'd like to quickly move to that one. My movement speed down the hall to the corner here, so that I can kind of see both directions. Because I know my friends are behind me somewhere. I'm not going to make any attempt at stealth there.
Okay.
But I'd like to move down the hall to here and draw my bow and just hold an action in case someone comes looking for me from that large room. I kind of want to see what they do.
All right. Just as a curiosity, how far and where are you able to see? Like, where does the vision end?
Hang on.
Unfortunately, I've yet to discover how that works. Oh, wow. So the entire distance.
Anything inside that, like that's the shape of floor space that I can see.
Okay. You don't see anybody.
Because obviously that torch on the wall right here is lighting that area up. I think if that torch was missing, my vision would probably stop. Well, actually, it would go almost that whole distance because I have, I think, 60 foot of dark vision.
Right. Well, either way as the case may be, you stand with your bow drawn for about 2 minutes, and you don't see anybody step into your field of view.
Okay. I assume that would take up... Shit, if it was 2 minutes, that would take up the next 20 turns of mine.
Right. So in the meantime, if there's anything Elentia or Chantal would like to do, you can almost certainly get it done.
We're just moving to try and find Stone and River.
All right.
Yep.
During that time, as you move across the various passageways, really encounter just nobody else. You step into what appears to be some kind of a barracks, or just a large sleeping quarters of some kind, with some hastily made straw or grass cots just lying on the ground.
Interesting.
They're really living it up.
Did he go back through here, you think?
This is not napping.
Right. He does that like 10 times a day.
Literally, if there's sun,
Right. And lo and behold,
Oh, hey, I see him.
just to the end of this hallway, or the bend of this hallway, you find none other than Stone and Torval.
Stone and Torval.
New nickname.
Gonna start a rock band. That'll be our name. Be like Stone Sour. Doesn't necessarily mean anything. Just sounds
Wait a
cool.
minute. Did somebody say a rock band?
oh no.
Here it comes. He has music made with rocks.
Alright, and that's about the end of that gag.
I am both disappointed and impressed with you.
I'm sure he hears that a lot.
No, not the second part.
He's like a digital prop comic. So, you guys approached me, I assume.
Yes.
So I assume at this point I probably still have my bow out, but I don't have it drawn or anything, and I'm still just kind of looking down the hallway. So I'd look over and see you guys and kind of nod towards the hallway and say that there's a bunch more of them up there. They seem pretty devoted.
We slow down. At least I do, to be stealthy.
Mm-hmm. Very stealthy, very stealth.
Such stealth. Oh, I hear things.
I put my heels back on and got my castanets.
Right. Did you buy like castanet spurs for boots?
She's got jingle bobs.
She's got jiggle bombs. Yeah, she does.
You've got the Skechers light up shoes.
Yes.
The ones that whistle when you step on them.
She strapped a whoopee cushion to each foot.
Ow! Ow!
Alright, so after the short while that Stone's been standing there, you still hear zero conversation coming from the big room you were just in.
All right. So do you guys want to go check it out? Try to do your best salesman routine again?
Oh, it kind of failed with the last guy.
Oh, there was another one?
Yeah, old man in a prison and a guard. And guard didn't like what I was selling.
She killed him. One hit KO.
Well, at least it was quick.
Very.
Do you want to give it a shot with these guys, or move to plan B? So far, it does. If we're counting person by person, it seems like you have an overwhelming success rate still.
I mean, or we can try, or we can just go straight to stabbing. You seem to be panicked over here with your bow.
There were a lot of them, but they didn't follow me, so
Totally not suspicious.
let's see. Here, I'd like to sneak up to the corner here and see if I can peek around.
Alright. Go ahead and make make a stealth check to determine whether or not they're able to see you, and then make an investigation to determine how much you're able to, see while your head's peeked around.
Mediocre.
Alright. You peek your head around, and you make a strength save.
Boop. As I always do when I look around the corner.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Fuck you and your
Oh my god.
whatever you tried to do to me.
How does... Okay, a wormhole appears at your feet and creates a time paradox because the person attempting to tackle you also rolled a nat 20. So I don't know how to resolve this.
What is their strength score?
I mean, it's lower, but it's still pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, because I think normally if it's a tie, you go by the actual score.
I don't... No, but here's the thing, is that if...
Oh, you mean they... Oh, so they got a nat 20, but their nat 20 is like a 21
Correct,
or
their nat
22
20 is
total?
like a 22, 21 or 22, I think. So
Okay, gotcha,
you...
gotcha. Yeah, in that case, it would be the...
Yeah,
actual
you
value.
steel yourself for battle, but you feel this, like, monstrously huge force crash into you. But luckily, I mean, nothing can topple such a brave adventurer as yourself. So you end up just kind of wrestling with what appears to be a very angry, very muscular dwarf, holding an axe in one hand, and appears to be pretty annoyed that the whole body tackle, wasn't very effective. And you just proclaim your dominance over this pitiful excuse of a humanoid.
Yeah, I'd like to alert my friends.
And then, scientifically, shit starts. So I go ahead and re-roll initiative.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody. Only everyone who actually wants to participate in the combat. I mean, I won't make you.
Elentia turns around. I'm good.
No,
I'm
you
fine.
do you.
I prefer to.
This one's optional.
I prefer to
Okay.
fight with words.
Yeah, I'm a rogue. I don't prefer to fight with words.
She prefers to fight with the dagger behind you.
Words is the name of my dagger.
Yeah, there we go.
And descending order. And let's do this. And first up is Mr. Stone and River.
Oh, goodness for that. So does he have me
Welcome.
grappled? still?
You are not grappled. You were able to break free with your
Oh.
Herculean strength. Salute.
Ah, well, fantastic. So I'm going to do my stabby thing.
I like it. It's innovative. It's classic. Ooh, that is pretty stabby. How would you like it to be done?
I mean, I guess I'd just push him back since he had grappled me. So just give him a shove back as I gave that ferocious roar. And then as he comes forward again, draw one of my rapiers and stick it into his chest.
Devastating. +1 body. -1 foe.
And so at this point, I'm going to turn and I see 1, 2, 3, 4 other people in the room. I guess I have to play the character, and I am a barbarian. I'm going to rage. And I'm going to...
Wait, you're gonna do what?
Rush to...
You cut out there.
I'm going to rage. Yep,
Right.
just like that. And rush to this guy and use my other attack. Oh.
Nah, far less devastating. The cat roar tips them off, and they were able to just barely dodge out of the way of your second rapier swing.
Alright. I figure my friends are behind me. I've already taken out one of them. We can handle this.
Yeah, you can totally handle it. Like this guy right here. Go ahead and make a dexterity save.
Alright. Save.
Whoops. That's gonna count, whatever it is. So this guy's... You see this brown-robed guy chanting something, and he becomes enveloped in like an otherworldly light. And then the light shifts and it's on you. And you just have the wherewithal to dodge out of the way before it descends upon you and burns your flesh. So then he's gonna see that his sacred flame didn't work, so he's going to retreat to a bit further back in the cave. And after that,
Alright.
it is Elentia.
Alright. I can go. Far can I go? Where the hell's my speed? Oh, there it is. Okay, we're good. Sorry. Alright, I am going to run in here. I can go that far. And that's all I can do, I think. Well, no, I can sprint if I don't make an
Correct.
attack,
You're able to
correct?
dash in exchange for being able to do anything else.
Alright, so I will go ahead and dash next to my buddy here. And that's all I can do.
Alrighty.
Ignore this roll. I'm just trying to fill some class actions out on my
Right.
sheet.
Speaking of class action, this lady's got a lawsuit ready and waiting to file directly into your face. And she is going to make a short bow attack on Elentia because she doesn't like being just run in upon. Unfortunately, your speed is so great that she undershoots you a little bit, and the arrow clatters harmlessly behind you against the stone wall as it just flies, past you. And she just looks stunned that her attack missed, and that appears to be all she can do right now. The next devotee, sensing that the battle goes poorly, indeed. That's not what I wanted. She just turns. Oh, wait, here we go. And flip horizontal. Yeah! She just turns back towards the Shrine of Theron's Dune. That appears to just be an enormous stone slab with his symbol carved into it. And she just starts chanting in a low voice in a language you can't understand. And she becomes possessed of well, not possessed, but she becomes engulfed in some kind of flickering light that changes in intensity and changes in color. And those shenanigans will take up her entire turn. And now we pass to Chantal.
Fun times. Ooh, dang it. And this is as far as I can get with my movement.
Yay, humans!
Back to you in the newsroom.
If you want, you can sprint up there.
Oh, and then
Or
I get
dash
like,
up there. Yeah, essentially, it lets you move twice.
Oh. Hey.
I can see the fighting.
I can see it. I can see my friends.
Hi, friend.
Hi. Okay, go stab things.
Yay! So now, it's the devotee right in front of Stone and River. And she's really not happy that you've just invaded her current place of residence. But man, your ferocity is just something to be admired and feared. Because she goes to poke you with the pointy end of her spear. And you're able to just deflect it away with a contemptuous flick of the rapier. And she can do a little more than just stare at you angrily. It's now your turn.
Alright. I'm gonna be predictable. And I'm gonna stab her with my right hand.
That appeared to do quite a number on her. You get her right in the leg, and it draws a pretty impressive plume of the blood and bodily fluids. But she's still standing, obstructing your way.
I hope not.
Not for very much longer, indeed. How would you like to do it?
So if the first one caught her in the leg, I'd like to, with the second one, just catch her in the throat and kind of push her back to the side out of my way as I move forward.
What?
And with that, I'm going to go ahead and run right up here in this girl's?
I think so.
Okay. I'm going to run right up here in this girl's face, even though I can't attack, and just do my intimidating thing.
Alright, go ahead and make an intimidation check.
Fantastic.
Right. You roll that against her constitution. She's just quivering. Quivering.
I mean, I did just sweep through 2 of her friends, so I'm probably covered in blood by now.
Also, go ahead and make a joke that went right over your head check as well. Quivering, bow. Quiver. Boom! Multi-level comedy! And more comedy brought to you by this guy. He's bringing his packing heat. As he, as well, just kind of ignores his current problems with you. And he also turns to the Shrine of Theron's Dune. Begins chanting in a similar way to his friend, just down there as well. And the same multicolored, varying intensity light engulfs him as well.
All right.
Alright,
mildly
Definitely
concerning.
going over
No,
there.
it's fine. Elentia thinks it's fine too, don't you? Totally fine. Nothing suspicious at all.
Did who say
What?
something?
No, I didn't. I said go get him. Elentia, you're up.
Two. Okay, I didn't hear anything for the last 2 minutes. So
Well, that's fine. I was just kind of rambling anyway.
Okay. Alright, I am going to run up to this girl. Do my 2 daggers.
Stabby, stabby.
Hit me, baby, one more time. Right. Their daggers strike true. One of them hits her right in the tummy area, draws out an impressive gout of blood. The other one hits her in the arm and opens a wide gash in that as well. But she still appears to not be entirely put out by the whole ordeal. Still looking just about as
What
fit
is-
as ever.
What are you texting me? I don't understand.
Because I am on your side and I'm next to her, you can also apply your sneak attack damage.
Which means what?
You can roll an extra d6 and apply that to at least one. I think it's just one attack. Or is it more?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I think it's like once per turn. You get a sweet.
Yeah, just like that.
And then, like an anime, you like sheath your dagger, and it opens up just an entirely new rend all across her chest, just from like sternum to hip. And that appears to be far more devastating, yet unfortunately not yet lethal.
That's okay.
Well then, it is now her turn, much to her dismay. So she just drops her bow and pulls out a dagger that was just in her belt. And she attempts to slice up men here, because she's still quite intimidated by his ferocious roar he just let out.
Well, I hope she has a very long
Fuck.
dagger. 'Cause
Stone.
I think Menhir is still back in the inn.
Stone in Torvadum. He's gonna get what's coming to him.
I stand back. Go ahead. Cut him up.
I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Cut him up one more goddamn time.
Meanwhile, somewhere man here is like, what?
Somewhere men here is like,
He gets a shiver.
Somewhere who's
what
like-
is
ow.
that? No, have you ever seen, a cat sitting there calmly on the floor that just suddenly jumps up and sprints across the room for no
Yes.
reason? It's exactly what happened.
Well, she's gonna take her dagger and slice you up right across the thigh for a blistering 2 damage, which would then be cut in half by your rage to deal 1 damage.
Boop. Done.
Gosh dang, I love barbarians.
And then she's just
enjoying this character.
she's just gonna make like, I'm gonna get you, like feigning thrusts at you for the rest of the time, just like fronting on you.
Don't be fronting.
Do bitches be fronting. So now we pass to the first devotee who is praying at the altar. And she very calmly gets up, still engulfed by these flickering, pulsing lights. And she just turns back at you with some kind of, like, new intensity. Boogies her way over to men here. And takes her short sword and attempts to slice you up. Whee. And what is your AC? 16. Well, do I have bad news for you? She's gonna reel back and the light intensifies to an almost blinding amplitude as she deals you a 6 damage slice right across your arm, which would then be halved to 3.
Got it.
Right. And as you're now next to her, you see almost... It's as if her brain is rapid-firing every emotion she could possibly be feeling, like alternating every 1 second. So, like, she'll be smiling, then she'll be frowning, then she'll almost be crying, then she'll just be looking confused. That kind of a thing. Even as the lights continue to pulse and dance behind her. or just around her
I'm
generally?
gonna assume she's on either some really good or some really bad drugs.
Well, they may have been compensated somehow, maybe just not with money. And
True.
speaking of drugs,
Criminal
now
enterprises.
is Chantal's turn.
Yay!
It's not my turn.
Unless you want to skip me.
Did I?
No, because you
You
just
just
went
went
sneak attack
attack
damage.
You
damage.
stab people.
You went
Oh,
right after the bow chick.
no, we're good. Sorry.
I still can't get to them, but dang it, I can cast spells.
But your enthusiasm is greatly noted.
Thank
We
you.
see you trying back there, and we appreciate it.
How are you doing for health? Like, totally not being RP at all.
Totally in character, I look pretty good.
Okay. But like, how you looking today? I don't know.
Yo, Stone, how you doing?
How that? Yo, Stone. How you be? Oh Lord.
I'm gonna flash whatever gang sign means. I'm doing okay.
Days. All right. I want to cast Vicious Mockery on her. On actually the archer who's attempting to stab.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have just a token that replaces the bow with a little dagger. It's really an oversight, I'll be honest.
It's all right.
No.
It's all right.
I'll be honest. There was something in like the main campaign that I'm ludicrously proud of, which I mentioned previously, but I'm not going to bring up until it happens. Boop. Well, she fails the heck out of that wisdom save.
Yes, finally. Someone's insulted.
So, whoops. That. There we go. She doesn't appear to be dead quite yet. You know, still breathing, but she like clutches her head as if to make some kind of voices go away, and she just screams out in agony, like "No!"
Yes.
Anything else you would like to do?
No, I'm just gonna be here.
In that case, is there anything else Stone would like to do? Huh. Gonna take that as a yes.
I'm gonna stick her with the pointy.
Which one?
The one with the bow who switched to the dagger, who's now screaming in agony.
How would you like to do that?
So I knew she was already wounded, and now I've seen Chantal come up and cast some sort of bardic spell, and now she's screaming. So I know she can't have much left in her. So I just would like to quickly stab her in the chest to try and finish it, and then turn to the one above
All
me.
right, and so it is. Blah, blah. Right. And as for the one above you, you manage to turn around and catch her just in time. She attempts to dodge out of the way of your rapier swipe, but she just barely isn't fast enough, and you rend a pretty shallow gash up most of her arm.
All right, I'll take it. And that was both my action and my bonus action, so I think I am good for this turn.
All right. So now we go to Mr. Praying at the Altar guy. And he appears to have the same pulsating lights surrounding him as his female companion does. So he's just going to turn around and going to cast a... Why did I not fucking write the name of the spell down? Infestation is a spell. Alright. He's going to cast an infestation spell at Mr. Stone, because he's,
Oh god, I'm gonna
Get
get
shot
fleas,
pretty
aren't
hard.
I?
Depends only if he hits you. Oh, man! What was your AC again?
16.
17. Alright. He's going to raise his staff and direct it squarely at you. And just a black sort of fuzzy cloud erupts from his staff and launches directly at you. And you just feel this, like, itching, creepy, crawly sensation across your entire self as you feel some kind of insect or pest deal you 5 poison damage.
All right.
And in addition to that, go ahead and make a Constitution save. Okay. In addition to the poison damage, you feel a terrible itching across your entire body, and you feel an urge to just run away, but you manage to calm that. You have good enough mastery over your body that you know it's just an effect of the spell.
All right.
So after this guy, we move to Elentia.
All right, so I see this asshole wreaking havoc on my friends, and I don't really appreciate that. So I'm gonna run up to this dude by the altar and stab him with the daggers.
I like it. Simple, easy.
Oh, mama.
What is this game?
It's called I Stab Shit and I Kill People, okay?
Well, you certainly do kill this guy. How would you like to do it?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I got one in the heart, and then I cut off his other hand holding the staff that's casting magic.
Perfect. The old disarm, disembody. I like it.
I'm bloodthirsty. And I think that's everything I can do.
Alrighty. So now we pass turn to this charming young woman over here, who seems to be focused on Stone to almost like a single-minded intensity. She's going to once again attempt to get him with her short sword. But Stone, you know, he's blood's boiling, raring for a good fight, and he's able to easily sidestep her slash that she sent at him. So now it is Chantal's turn.
Yo. Crap. Alright, I'm gonna, actually I can reach her and I wanna try and stab her. Would you consider her effectively flanked?
I think you'd have to get to the other side to be flanked. I think it has to be one in front, one behind.
Oh, okay.
So I think you do still have enough movement to get around to the other side.
Pow.
That's not the other side I was referring to. This would be the other side. You have... There we go. The three of you have to form kind of a line.
Gotcha. Alright.
Alright. So, you take your rapier and manage to slip it right in between her ribs, and she coughs up a splattering of blood. So you suspect you must have hit a lung or something. And yet, by some power that be, even though she's hacking up blood, she's got a arm that's rent from elbow to wrist. She still appears to be clinging to the last gasp of life. Anything else you'd like to do?
That's all for me for now. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And Mr. Stone, you're up.
Well, seeing that we seem to have taken care of everything else in the room, I will just return my focus to this lady trying to stab me and try not to get distracted by the intense itching sensation that I now have, and give her this.
I keep
It had to be one of them.
meaning to roll to make a crit fail chart, but luckily in the meantime, since there's none of your teammates really in the direct area, I'll say that the attack was so amazingly off that it distracts from your other one. And the other attack also misses, in addition to the first one.
Okay. And if you would like, I can send you the one that I've been using in our game.
Alright. I won't use it for this one specific instance of a nat fail, but I will probably use that going forward. Alright. In the meantime, we've got Elentia up to bat. Oh, sorry. Unless you'd like to do something else, Stone, during your turn.
Nope, that pretty much does it.
Alright. So, Elentia, you're up.
So this thing that they're praying to, what am I looking at?
You're looking at just an enormous slab of stone. Not not like the enormous slab of stone you've got currently locked up with the devout lady. Hail.
Heyo.
But it's maybe
So-
1 foot thick by about a 10-foot wheel, where it's about 10 feet on the side. Like if you were to outstretch your arms, it wouldn't quite cover it. It's about 10 feet tall on a crudely made wooden plinth. So it's suspended off the ground just a little bit. With the... It's
it
carved...
Look like
Sorry.
Does it look like it could be easily pushed?
It looks very, very heavy. Like it would weigh just hundreds of pounds. And it looks very solid. Like they did a very good job constructing the wooden base that it rests on.
Alright, well I guess I'm gonna come back to that. So, for now, I'm gonna go to this girl. And we're gonna do what I do best and stab her with daggers.
And since she is flanked by 2 people, you also have advantage. Even if you're not one of the people doing the flanking.
Hey, wait a minute. I would have had advantage too, so my crit fail on my last turn would not have been a fail. It would have been a 13.
That's true, but at the same time,
We don't
we've
have
moved
to
past
retcon
it, yeah.
though. Yeah, we're good.
Alright, so how would you like to deal the damage?
This one, since she's kind of facing away from me, is gonna be double daggers into the back of her rib cage. Hopefully getting some internal
Ah,
wounds.
the old Count Dooku. Blech. Alright, she collapses to the floor in a heap. And as you stand amid the corpses, you see nobody else in the room. Okay. So, I'll abolish the turn order, as you've now left combat, and I'll leave you free to your own devices.
Well, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm going to. I assume I'm still itchy.
You are not still itchy. That was just an effect of the spell.
Okay. Well, I'm still gonna spend a minute picking through my fur to make sure that there's not actually anything
Right.
on me.
Luckily, you find no fleas, no bugs, ants, nothing of that. Just a lustrous fur pelt.
Oh, thank God. I didn't want to have to take another bath.
Alright. So, obviously, we're gonna have to do something to reconsecrate this temple or whatever.
Old dude.
Yeah, do we need to go get him and bring him back here? Do you want the key before you go?
Yep.
Nah, I'll just pry the bars
I'm
apart.
gonna I'll toss you the key. There you go.
Shay Shay.
Alright, I will say you managed to make your way back to the...
Thank you for not making
No
me
problem.
click.
da-da-da-da.
Heck's the old man at? Oh well. The force
Alright,
of
just here.
nature.
Hold on. Perfect. He seems very appreciative that you've come back to him. Like, oh, thank you so much. Have you need of my services? Also, have you got any
Absolutely.
food? I mean, I'm still pretty hungry.
We'll get to
sweet.
food in a minute.
I appreciate it. Have you vanquished the invaders to this lovely temple?
Yes, quite thoroughly.
Sweet. What is... Doing with this? Right. Have you taken down that vile statue of theirs that they've erected to thwart my lady's efforts?
You left my friends back there. I'm sure they're doing something like that. I came to get you because you're clearly some form of priest. And we need help, concentrating, making this place holy again.
Consecrating is the word I'm looking for. And
That's the one.
I'd be glad to help. Just please let me out and take me to their vile handiwork.
Minor details. Okay. Clink.
Alright. Key and lock. Lock opens. Door opens. Please lead on.
Yup.
And just for simplicity, I'll just copy and paste both of you over there.
Yay!
Just scroll pretty much all the way to the left, and you'll see where you are. Boop. Right. In short order, Chantal and the wizened old man return. He closes his eyes and mutters under his breath for a short while, perhaps to ascertain the exact source of the disturbance and exactly how to counter it. He opens his eyes and says, has anyone got a torch? Any source of fire? Tinderbox, perhaps?
I'm pretty sure I have a torch in my bag somewhere.
Excellent. We're gonna need some kind of a fire. Or, as he's talking to you, he kind of wanders over to one of the lanterns. We're gonna need this as well.
I have a candle on the lantern.
I'll be honest, the candle isn't the important thing. The important thing is this lantern. And it's...
Oh, also, I hand him a part of my rations.
He just mutters some kind of inexpressible gratitude and just shovels food into his mouth.
Sorry, dude. Hadn't forgot about you.
He attempts to thank you, but his mouth is too full of food to actually form appropriate words. So in between shoveling food into his gob, he takes the lantern and just pours all the oil out onto the wooden stand that this enormous slab is resting on. He just throws the lantern away.
Okay, interesting.
Well, we're gonna have to set the plinth on fire to knock the stone over. It appears that these, and he just kind of scoffs like these amateurs. They only made a monument that successfully blocks the transcendent energies while the stone is on the plinth. Idiots. It's a more simple spell, but it's also more easily broken. So all we have to do is knock it over. So all we gotta do is... Yeah.
So the plinth is on fire now?
I mean, have you got a torch?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you
No,
said you
he
already
doused
lit
it with oil.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I have a torch and a tinderbox, so I'll strike a light on my torch and toss a torch on the base of the plinth.
So it takes, a couple minutes to burn. It's nice solid wood. But burn it does. And in due time. Enough of it gets burned away that the stone just rolls off the plinth and falls face down. And it doesn't exactly shatter, it just turns into nothingness as soon as it hits the ground. Just disappears up in a big ball of smoke. And the colors once again pulsate like the light did around the two devotees. And you can almost feel like a warm breeze blow through the cave. Like you smell fresh cut grass and pine trees and fresh soil and just good outside kind of smells. And all too soon. Yeah.
I'd probably look around in confusion at that.
The old man goes, it's a sign of Andra. Her powers, they now flow through the temple once again. The smells of wilderness, can't you smell them? She's She's been granted domain once again
Again.
over her temple. Oh, what a wondrous day this is. Thank you so much, adventurers.
Well, we're just glad it was fairly uneventful.
May have unionized some worshippers of chaos, but uneventful all around.
Oh, that's okay. That just means that Chaos will never get anything done again because they'll be too busy trying to meet union requirements.
And paying union dues.
Yep. We've won on both fronts.
I would say you have
job
won
here
on
is
both
done.
fronts. And Avandra just kind of teleports in from out of nowhere. Yeah.
Hey!
And the old
remember
man
you.
just gets down on one knee and mutters, just like general praise. Yeah, thanks for cleaning up my temple. I truly appreciate it. If there's anything I can do to repay you guys, I'll try to do it.
Actually, so I was thinking, and I don't know, I'll have to talk with my companions here, but you did teleport us here, and you said you were going to teleport us back to town, right?
I mean, that's only fair. You're pretty far away from the inn where I pretty much abducted you from. With consent, of course.
I mean, let me confer with my companions really quick on something.
All right, I'll be here talking to Rodrax in the meantime, and she just confers with the old man.
So I'm gonna step to the side to talk to you guys. I mean, I don't know what you guys want to ask for, but I'm kind of thinking that maybe we should ask to have a way to get a hold of her. Maybe in the future, sometime we need a favor, and she can like teleport us somewhere really quick. That might be a handy thing sometime.
Yeah, I like the favor of a goddess.
Or maybe we can be a little more general and just say, we don't need anything right now, but can we call on you in the future, perhaps?
If I call you, are you going to send me directly to voicemail or answer going, new phone, who dis?
There'll be a phone tree. For spiritual matters, press 1. For divine intervention, press 2. Okay. We'll try that. So I'd like to go back over to her. I think for the moment we don't require any repayment, but seeing as we've hopefully gained some of your favor, it would be nice if we had some way to call upon you in the future should we need something.
Ah, of course. Let me think. Do you still have the card I gave you earlier at the inn?
Yep.
Excellent. Can I have that back, please? She extends a hand.
All right.
Oh, thank you very much. And she closes her eyes in concentration, and her hair raises up as if blown by a stiff breeze. And the card in her hand glows with a very bright light. And after just a second or two, she reopens her eyes, and the card goes back to just the way it was before, just plain-looking parchment. She holds it out in her hand for you. Ah, here you go. You're
Thanks.
welcome. Oh, yeah, sorry. All you've got to do is, if you rip up this piece of paper, I will transport this avatar of mine to wherever you are, barring any kind of otherworldly interference. So, like, how I couldn't make myself be in this temple right now because of divine intervention, yeah. If you're in a area that's similarly afflicted, I won't be able to get to you. But in most other cases, rip up that piece of paper. Doesn't matter how many pieces. You don't have to say an incantation or anything, but I mean, if you did, it wouldn't hurt. And this avatar will once again appear to assist you in a manner that I deem capable.
I can accept that.
Cool.
Sweet. Like, any other questions? Comments? Gratitude? Praise?
Well, I think you have a very nice temple here. Looking around the
Yeah.
room. It needs a little cleanup in this room, but the rest of the place should still be pretty much spotless.
Well, except for, the crudely drawn up prison, but
Crude.
Well, yeah. I mean, that might need some cleanup too. Unless it's something you need. It could just be considered an unauthorized improvement.
I mean, a couple of my devotees should be able to get this place back up in order. I mean, maybe a pulley system to get them up out of the ladder or something. But yeah, we'll think of something. I'm glad you were able to fulfill this request. You know, bodies notwithstanding. But yeah, you know,
Well,
it happens.
we let most of them get out alive.
yeah, hey, we did pretty outstanding considering our track record.
You. So, like, what are they just not here, or?
You know what? That inn, we got to get back to our other cat.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about what he's doing now.
Yeah, he gets into trouble. He casts a lot of spells. Keeps waiting for like an explosion or to turn into a plane.
He's
It's
gonna
really
just
weird.
randomly cast spells. See what goes wrong.
Oh, well, okay. Just, gather up and I'll transport y'all back there. I won't travel with you, of course. That might raise a couple of questions, but you'll just be back upstairs in your room where we left off.
Sounds good. Glad we could help
Sweet.
you out.
Yep. Thank you very much. We'd be lost without you. Wouldn't have this temple anymore.
Enjoy the reoccupation of your
Sweet.
temple.
Yeah, bye. See you guys maybe later if you ever decide to use that.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Then she raises her hands, and the breeze appears to stiffen and get stronger and stronger until you're just back at the inn, safe and sound. In the same
Yeah, well, that went better than I expected.
Yeah.
Only a little bit up.
Hey, Itchy. All right, go team us.
I'd like to check on Men here. Make sure he's still hanging out here. He seems.
Well,
fine.
the three of you got up pretty early in the morning, so that by the time all this adventuring's done, it's about mid-afternoon. We can say that Men here was just hanging out in the inn in the meantime, grabbing a bite, grabbing a drink.
That seems fair. Oh, while we have the time, I would like to try and find a smith somewhere in this town.
Sure.
Not a John Smith or a Jimmy Smith, but a blacksmith.
Nothing's anything wrong with white smiths.
Not necessarily a smith who happens to be black. But
Say, what about Will Smith?
How about Willow Smith? You need a good hairstylist.
I'm sorry that everyone else missed that because I don't think your mic was on.
I heard a little bit.
Whatever, that's fine. We'll keep up the mystery. You know what? That's in the behind-the-scenes recordings.
They're special
That's,
bonus feature.
Yeah, we'll release that.
Yeah,
in the
that's for
bonus
if you
footage.
subscribe to my Patreon. Patreon.com/Hornbinkle.
There'll be a music video and everything
Amazing.
of Elentia dancing along to Big Willie style.
Jiggy with it.
No, there will not be a video of you getting jiggy with it. But you can get there.
Na, 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 na.
Oh. But yeah, I would like to find a blacksmith and see what it would cost to get these rapiers modified to strengthen the knuckle guards.
If you don't mind, the next part of the actual main quest that I was working on kind of ties into that. So do you mind if we save that
Noted.
for next week?
Request withdrawn.
Okay.
I'm good
Alright.
in that case. I'm happy.
Mm-hmm. Very happy.
Are we going to assume that we're going to take another long rest before the next session?
I'll assume that when Avandra teleported you back, she also would have cured your wounds and restored all of your spell slots and stuff.
Okay,
so
cool.
take the effects of a long rest.
She's just fantastic.
Well, you know,
I do like
you have a
her.
goddess on your side. It's pretty power. Oh, whoops. Turn that music off. Off. What's that music?
Nope, that was good. Glad we got to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully we can get Greg back in next week and carry on.
I'm glad you guys managed to convince a group of fucking cultists to abandon their livelihoods and take back the power to the people.
Yeah. That was an awesome roll.
That was just, I don't know. The Chris Perkins was looking down upon me and smiling. He's usually who I call upon when I need good rules.
No, that worked fantastically well. I'm glad we tried that first and not the
Yeah.
stabby.
Yeah, I'm proud of us.
That's,
Go team.
I feel like I have to incorporate that somehow into the campaign. It just worked so well.
Right, I feel like it's gonna come
Well-
back to bite me somehow.
Yeah, now there's a temple full of unionized whatever
cultists,
chaos minions.
We've made a new god. It's the god of unions.
There's gonna be little idols with your face on them.
No, the idols are clipboards.
That's the holy symbol, the
Dude,
clipboard.
anyone with a clipboard is organized.
I can just imagine it now. They've unionized. Now this god of chaos can't get anything done because they have to keep having meetings. There's all these labor disputes. They want a better water fountain in the break room. They want better dental coverage.
No.
They're only allowed to work 6.5 hours a day.
I think you're thinking about this all wrong. Now that these people believe so much in organization, they might have created a god of organization. Like some otherworldly power is gonna have to.
I mean, they could do anything. I suppose that's up to you.
I'm gonna seriously think about it way more than I probably should.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna get off of here. I gotta go put some chickens up.
I'm gonna go find some food. So, outstanding. Lovely playing with you all again.
Nice to have
Yep,
another
fantastic.
excuse to make believe.
Exactly. And it's,
Yeah,
appropriate.
exactly. What?
Let me check my
I don't know.
calendar. Yep, we should be good for next week.
Good to hear. Then I expect to see you all bright and early-ish.
I think the only Tuesday we're not gonna be good for is the 30th of October.
Duh.
Yeah,
'cause,
preparing for the
you know,
Spook Fest.
spooky time.
Well, we're driving home from Gatlinburg that day, so I don't know, we may be available, we may not be, I don't know.
Gotcha.
I know that I feverishly tried to fit a Johnny Cash lyric to that, but it just wasn't happening. Gatlinburg in mid-July just hit town and my throat was dry. Thought I'd stop and have myself a brew. I tried, believe me. It just didn't work.
It'd be Gatlinburg at the end of October. Feeling bad because I was sober. I'm kind of
Got
taking the
him.
same direction.
Heyo.
I think that's a show ender. I'll see y'all again next week.
All right.
Yeah,
Yep, see
yeah.
ya.
And break.
Bye.